I will. I have not, but I will. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. Good call. I'll do that right now.
Hey, can everybody hear me? Whoa.
Are we online? Microphone wise? Colin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. Hey, everybody. Patrick's running a few minutes late, up to 10 minutes. And Nancy's not in town today, so I have to wait for Patrick to show up. I think it's gonna be 6:10, 6:12. All the total. We'll get a few minutes if you wanna step away. Does it work? Gabriel, does it work? Your strength. You might want to come to technology. Call IT. Now you got a call from the trailers.
It's him. That's
That's because of our.
so.
Okay. All right. What's going on? Well, anyway, fine.
What's that?
Gotta keep.
That was a slow. Yeah. So I texted you. You were what?
Out looking at pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
And then there wasn't enough traffic to slow me down. I got here early.
That's awesome.
Give a minute to get settled there, we can get started. How you doing?
Jane.
Feel good.
Sorry.
Sorry. This is such an unusually quiet group. Very much. This is worrisome, right? It's so quiet last night.
Yes. You know who's on virtual? Do you see who's on virtual?
What's that?
Who was attendance virtually? So I just take attendance.
Yeah, he's got it, yeah.
Right here, he's already doing it from online.
Thanks,
See?
Joe. Thank you. Can we see who's online? No, we just
Just
asked.
so that- Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I guess, you know what?
Because you're sharing your screen out.
Okay.
We can just call the meeting to order and then just take attendance and see who's there. So are we good to go? Need to turn the volume on?
I think he's on mute.
Can everybody hear us?
Loud and clear.
Yep.
Perfect. Thanks, Greg.
All right, ready to go? I'll call the August 5th, 2026 Permanent Building Committee and Recal Building Committee meeting to order. Quick Roll call attendance, John Coop,
Yes.
Mark Doxer,
Yes.
Ari Greenberg. Can anyone tell if Ari's online?
I didn't see him.
Okay,
Doesn't look like it.
okay, Ken Grizel.
And it's not.
Ken's not. Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Mike Nazaro,
Yes.
Ron Powell,
Yes.
Greg Stepler.
Yes.
Nancy Toomey is not here, she's away, and Pat Tompkins is here. So, first item on the agenda, public comment. Take, if there's any public comment? Not seeing any, is anyone online, their hand raised or anything? Okay. Moving on to the, next item, review and approval of last month's meeting minutes. I trust everyone got the meeting minutes, had a chance to review them. Did anyone have any comments or questions?
Yeah, Pat, this is Kirk. It mistakenly says that I was present for the last one and I was not.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Someone wants to make a motion? Mark's got that job tonight.
Move to accept the minutes of, sorry, 7/1/26, as amended.
Okay, so. Any discussion? Before we vote, Nancy's not here, so I'm gonna ask Mike Nazaro to vote in her stead tonight. So no further comments, go to vote, John Coop,
Yes.
Mark Doxa,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Abstain.
Mike Nazaro. Yes. Ron Powell,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes. With that, I'll turn it over to Peter, for the project budget.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you. A couple of things on item 4, just 2 items, the dashboard and then the budget itself. Jump to the dashboard, a little bit of an update to it. This is just a snapshot of the items within the budget and the schedule, as opposed to thumbing through multiple pages of the budget and multiple pages of the schedule. More details are certainly within the report itself. I won't go through every line item, but you can see column A and B. There's a couple of tables. I can scroll so you can see the full screen. So we have first table is time. That's just the construction time. And the first line, row 2, is just, you can see it's highlighted in like an orange color. Those are the dates that I changed. But essentially, that's the date of this report. Contract start date was 30th of March, 499 days. And it kind of scrolls down and scrolls down. Gives you some look ahead, so substantial completion dates based on calendar days. How many days have elapsed? 123, 25%. So on, 376 days. Then you get down, I won't keep going. If any questions, certainly stop me. The next table is a general contractor's contract. The base contract on row 16, see the 19 million. One of the first change order, number 1, a pending change order tonight, which is row 18. If those are all approved, number 2, we have a revised contract amount of 19.5. If tonight's invoice is paid, it'll be 3.8 million with 15.7 remaining, or 20% complete, 80% remaining. With respect to the owner's contingency, you can see those line items there. Owner's construction. Let me clean up that wording. The owner's construction contingency. So it's the third table, starting on row 26 through 33. We have the 3.6 million. Again, the 2 change orders mentioned. Change order pending approval, approved and pending. It's 164,000. Balance remaining of the owner's construction contingency is a 3.5. All said, 4% used, 96% remaining. With respect to the owner's contingency, which is not construction, it's what the owner elects to purchase things for themselves outside of the construction, outside of the J&J contract is how we're managing that number. So, for example, there's some changes that are, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Joel. Looking at my screen here. So, sorry, here we go, folks. Rows 36 through 42. That's the owner's contingency. The original budget is the 1,047,000. Approved changes, that's designer's contract amendment of the 1,980. We have some two other designer amendments. One other designer amendment with two items on it for 14,000 this evening. If approved, that's a $16,000 total, which balance remaining 1,031,000, hence 2% used. And the other side of the report is just the designer's contract, the basic services, the reimbursables, the approved amendments, pending amendments, revised contract total, paid to date, balance to finish. You can see those numbers similar to the other side, 75%, 25% remaining. Same with the owner's contract, OPM's contract, excuse me, same numbers, same sort of formulas, contract base amendments, revised total, paid to date, balance to finish, percentage complete, percentage remaining. And then we, of course, then the next part is some of the pending changes that are under review now. You can see them listed there, rows 27 through 32 in column C. So that's, again, just a quick snapshot, one-stop shopping for information as opposed to thumbing through the other reports, which are also attached. I can go to the budget next. If there's any questions on the dashboard.
Can you give a little explanation as to how you're using the owner's construction contingency versus the owner's contingency? What costs would it? You touched on it a little bit. We talked about it a little bit last month.
Yep, I'm going. Yep.
So I thought it'd be worth you just to explaining, you know, in your minds,
Sure,
what you're doing there.
So so here's the budget report itself. Maybe scroll up to the, start off with the construction contingency. It's shown right here on rows, which is cost code 500, 200 on row 218. The initial contingency was the 1,097,000. We had some construction bid savings of 2.5 million. All combined is 3.6 million. We turn around and we have against that change order number one is $76,997. And quite frankly, I did not update change order number two. It should be 164,000. That was a last minute adjustment, which you saw last night. Any case, I'm taking anything related to the general contractor's contract with respect to change orders. I am managing the money as a construction contingency allocation. With reference to anything outside of construction, I'm putting it down and managing it through the owner's contingency down here towards the bottom of the budget, cost code 800,000. Owner's contingency, again, the base contract was $1,047,000. We moved some money around a little bit, as you can see here. I moved some money, 300, 800, up to cost code 300, 800, additional services for the architect under Amendment 2, which was the $1,980. And what's it for? Over here on the right-hand side, under column J, it was the site survey benchmarks that we did a couple of months ago. We also moved, what did I do next? Then this evening, under rows 275, again, I moved $14,030 from the owner's contingency up to the additional services for the design team, the A&E, under cost code 300, 800. And that's what we're going to discuss this evening. That's for designer services related to the flex room and the maker space. So that's essentially how I'm currently managing the two different contingencies. Anything nuts and bolts, construction, J&J is construction contingency. Anything outside of that is owner's contingency.
Thank you.
Questions, so, with respect to the budget on the report this evening, I'll just start on this page. No update besides what's highlighted in yellow and what we just discussed. Some invoices here that are highlighted in yellow. Down here, you'll see under the 300, 800 that I just mentioned. Again, the monies were moved from the owner's contingency on row 167 from cost code 800,000, owner's contingency, and we added it up here to 14,030, which is in the agenda this evening for further discussion to approve said amendment for the design team for those two spaces, flex room and maker space. And those, they've also invoiced, partial invoicing against those two amendments that the design team has already performed services on, which is another discussion this evening as well. The other thing is other highlights are UTS invoices for presentation this evening. Requisition for the contractor, the 1.2 million, which we'll talk about. And then just the highlighted section under owner's contingency. That was just an added service to the budget tonight, so you can see it quickly of what was edited for this report. So if certainly ask any questions. So that's what I have to mention on row item 4, the project budget, the dashboard, and the budget itself.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or on the budget?
That's the campus out joint.
That's it. Okay.
So Ken's on? So,
She's on.
okay, I can add. Okay,
You have two contingencies, owners, structure,
that's correct.
but they share the same numbers. But they're numbers which are repeated. Any sort of fact.
No, they're different numbers.
Okay, well,
Let me,
they look the same to me. One of them is much larger than the other.
3 times as much.
the owners.
Both too much money, by the way. They're both too much.
I'll zoom in a little bit, excuse me, John. So
Yeah.
construction contingency is 3.6 million. The original budget, when the project was established, was the 1,097,000. I'll just do this, scroll over.
The chart which had change order.
Oh,
Change order 1 and
Dashboard.
2 are very close.
change order 1 was the 76,000 for the elevator.
You've got general contractor. So that's not a contingency.
Correct, that's correct. So then what I've done here, John, is the base contract under the general contractor's contract, it's the 19 million base bid, base contract, signed them up. We gave them a change order number 1 for the elevator of 76,000. We have a pending change order tonight of 87,000. All combined would be the 19, which would raise his contract from 19.3 to 19.5.
Where is the planning strength of the construction contingency?
Right here. Second table, rows 26 through 30, rows, column A and B, second table. I'm sorry, third table, my fault, rows 26 through 33. Again, owner's construction contingency 3.6, 2 change orders. Approved, combined, balance remaining 3.5.
So when the owner makes a change to the construction process, it shows up in the construction.
That's how I'm, yes, correct. Correct. Well, let me say it this way, excuse me, if you don't mind. Whenever there's a change order to the contractor, the money is drawn from the construction contingency. Whether the owner makes the change, an unknown condition, an agency having jurisdiction, regardless of who makes the change or why the change happens,
Those are the same fact.
it comes out of the construction contingency because it goes toward the construction contract. It's kind of the
So the
thought process.
owner's contingency is where the design changes show up.
Correct. So, for example, this evening, there's a change for the design team. Or in the future, if we're gonna buy more chairs and desks, for example, we're gonna take it out of owner's contingency.
And
Very possible.
They are doing different, so it's,
I can explain a little bit about that if you want me to.
Yes.
Just briefly. So they're keeping they're putting into our contingency and our owner's contingency, the savings we got from the bid. And so that's where we're holding it until the building committee decides how much of that roughly $20 million we're going to not borrow in the end. And so that money is, so we have about $6 million in owner's contingency. And then there'll be like 15 million that sits in there, or there's other money sitting beside it. There's a different sheet where he separates them, but on our 3011 sheet, it appears in the same bucket as a contingency. Does that sound like what we talked about? That's for Killam. That's for Killam. Okay.
We're just not separating it. But I think we all agree we have no intention of spending $3.688 million on additional costs to J&J's contract. We're just not carving it out. They're definitely handling it differently, but for purposes of what we're doing, anything that goes against J&J's contract is the construction contingency. Anything else, be it FF&E, insurance, security might go through J&J's contract. But, designer fees, anything like that goes against the owner.
I sometimes like to separate contingencies which are spending, which are an improvement to the building versus one which has just come about accidentally from site conditions. Seems to me there should be a differentiation between those two. If you're improving the building, taking money out of contingency, that's slightly different from if something goes wrong with the foundations, you have to spend money, which you didn't expect to get. The building isn't getting any better.
I can say this, in our change order log, we are tracking what's the reason for the change. And we have 4 categories. And so at the end at any point in time, we can tell you how much money was spent for unknown conditions, improvements to the building, because an owner suggested.
It doesn't show up here, really. So
I can show you on a change order log on a monthly basis if you wanted to, or just quarterly.
We can, I think knowing that the information's there, if we get to a point where we wanna ask for it, I don't think we need to bog down that on a monthly basis. Because it can get confusing, but knowing that you're tracking it definitely makes sense.
only you're tracking it.
Bob?
Yeah, so I noticed that Sharon is on the call. Hi, Sharon.
Oh, yes.
As Jane was describing what's going on with the school and thinking about what not to borrow. I assume that we should be thinking the same way here for this project in terms of what we don't expect to need to borrow.
It's less of a huge amount of money with recal. It's not 20 million.
Right.
Do you know?
But if it's small change, I'd be happy to take it.
Not for you. Not for you. No, I see your point, and certainly with the financial climate that we're talking about in our community right now, we certainly are, just because we found savings in our bids, in our construction bid, we aren't spending that money. So once and Sharon, you can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but we've been talking a lot about this in the last couple of days. Depending on what the Killam School Building Committee wants to do. Once they say maybe we give back 50% of the savings, give back meaning we just don't borrow it. Sharon will go to town meeting and officially rescind the ability to borrow it. So it's officially goes back to the town meeting and says, we agree, you will not borrow this money. And we want lots and lots and lots of assurances that there aren't going to be surprise tariffs, another 25% steel tariff coming out. So we take a very conservative approach. We stand by our word. We're not spending this savings. We're not going to go, great, you save money. Let's do something that we didn't tell anybody about, do something special and extra. We're not doing that. But with the volume of the savings, which is significant with Killam, that's why we're talking about it here. And that's up to this building committee if there's a discussion about, do we want to do something differently with that savings because it's not quite as much money. We haven't really
So that's
broached.
the official, but from the practical point of view, in terms of planned borrowings.
Yeah.
At this point, I assume, and Sharon, this is kind of a question for you, that you're not planning to borrow that at this point. So as you're thinking about what borrowings you're gonna do and when, you're seeing that there's less than what was approved originally.
Correct. There's quite a bit less that's been approved. And so Sharon keeps our OPMs working very hard, getting us their cash flows. Because last year, our treasurer raised $4 million in interest income from our investments. That's because she is very, very good with how she moves money around. So that's why the cash flows and other things. So the intention is we won't do the final borrowing like we did before the second tranche, if you will, be at the end of the project or as close to the end as we can get. And so we have a final number. So we're not borrowing excess. Like with the library, we had money sitting around because once you borrow it, you can't spend it on just anything. And so it just sits there and waits. So she plans to ban the money in the middle as much as we can. Sharon, am I getting this right for you?
Yes, yes. Do you need me if I'll jump in if you like, it doesn't, you're doing great.
Thank you. We talk all the time. And so that's the plan, is that we will go to do that second tranche of borrowing as late as we can. And to get to fine tune that amount, so there's as little left as
As late
possible.
and as late.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
So how many like tranches? There'll just be two, and when would the second tranche be?
So
Approximately.
it depends on the cash flow. So both projects are coming in lower than what the original budgets were. And I borrowed, I think it was $50 million for Killam and 20 million for Recal. And so it all depends on when we need to borrow based on the cash flows. So we're only going to borrow when we absolutely need to, obviously not like last minute, but we'll probably do a short-term borrowing, which is less than a year. We call it a ban. And that will keep us from having like a principal payment in fiscal 28, which is the year that we'll have the override. So we're trying to time it out so that we have very little, if any, interest payments. Hopefully we won't have any interest payments, but I guess it just depends on how fast the construction goes and how quickly we need to get, you know, the second tranche borrowed. But we'll be watching what we have for the cash that we've borrowed and kind of looking at those cash flows very, very carefully to determine when that next tranche needs to happen. But likely that last tranche will be first initially banned probably for a year, and then we would permanently borrow. That way we can get closer to the actual numbers so that we don't have excess money sitting there like we did with the library.
Good. Ron?
So right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I see. So the first tranche was 20 million. And I'm showing that we have 22.5 million committed for retail to pay. Right, it's 281.
I don't think it'll be more than that. Between the OPM, the design work, and J&J's contract. J&J's contract committed is 19.5 long.
Yeah, and I'm showing that.
You're right.
Well, I think the other lines, it does come out to 5.
Good.
Well,
It's committed fund, but we didn't bought everything yet.
so
No
that
furniture.
means that minimally, the second tranche is gonna be 2.5 million, right? So-
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be more. Yeah, it'll be more than that, because that doesn't include the FF&E, which we know we're gonna spend and which will be significant.
About 500,000. The second tranche altogether will be much less than the first tranche. People who open their
Yes,
tax bills in
absolutely.
July and kind of had a moment. The second tranche will not be anywhere close to that.
Okay. So as we target that 20 million in total cash flow. You know, Peter, that's probably something, total budget expenditures, we want to be. You know, the best we can to be a few months out from seeing where that's gonna land. we should be able to tell now from the cash flows. Probably some time.
Mhm.
It's probably sometime in Q1, I would imagine. Okay, anyone else, any questions or comments on the budget? Can move on to schedule.
Sure. Moving down to item 5, there's 2 schedules. There's the OPM's milestone, and then there's the contractors. I'll switch screens here, so. Here we are here. Here's the kind of the OPM's milestone schedule, kind of just snapshot here. Where we are, where we've been, where we are, 30, 60, 90 days right here. So the structural steels started, it's April can certainly jump.
Done.
So the structural steel is complete. I think it was last Friday,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
Started on June 22nd, as shown on row 51. Concrete slabs are big.
There was a big pour yesterday, over 250 yards. And that was all the zero slab. Now they're doing the depressed slabs.
Sure.
So that's probably gonna happen Wednesday next week.
Right, yeah, I think we have down to the 10th, and then you got the wood framing starting later this month.
It started to get things.
Actually started today, okay. Good. So you can see, I won't go through all the line items, but that's what we're looking at on rows 51 through 56, with respect to ongoing activities. I did turn around and kind of, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit, just to plant the seed with the group here, starting on row 71, which is the owner's furniture, fixtures, equipment, and then the technology. Kind of broke that out a little bit. Had a conversation with Joel from BH+A about the upcoming design, preparing the design, well, it's pretty much design completed, but furniture and equipment probably in the fall. So I put down September 14th, as you can see highlighted, to begin the planning. Start to have some coordination meetings, and then also starting to do the same with the technology as well. And then begin the process of selections, procurement. And then as you can see further down, probably the delivery next spring into then the fabrication next spring, bidding, fabrication, submittals, then the delivery next summer. As you can see there, next July, based on the schedule of how things are going, thinking that the substantial completion date, which is noted up above, is going to be August 11th. With the certificate of occupancy on or about the same time. That's what we're looking at. So we're talking, give or take a year out from now.
So starting next month, we're gonna start thinking about the FF&E.
Like to, I think it's a good idea.
We should think about, and there's a lot of people that wanna have input into that. Jane, if you had any thoughts on that, but obviously council on aging, town staff. I mean, I don't know how much the rec department would be involved. They may
Maybe
have,
some with the gym particularly,
yeah,
Yeah.
and the gym stuff is probably.
not much in there.
Yeah, and the gym equipment kind of is what it is, and it's part of the,
Yeah.
it's already part of the base
Yeah,
contract.
maker space, there's some stuff over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so, that, at next month's meeting, we should probably talk about, figure out who wants to have that input, how we manage that as a working group or subcommittee or just some people, in light of open meeting. If they need to be published meetings, need to kind of give all that some thought, probably have a conversation and make some decisions in September on that. Do you have some comments? Yes, I know you do.
Dying.
Yeah,
dying.
go,
I'm
go.
dying. Thank you. So I assume FF&E is handled to the designer. How does that process normally work with a council, with a recouncil? We
With the
definitely
what?
want our council on aging involved.
Yeah, we usually have a working group. Go through the selection process room by room. And. The working group makes a decision.
Okay.
And have a project in Northbridge, there are 10 people on that working group.
Okay.
It goes across.
So it's a mix of like volunteers and staff typically? Okay.
Now. Can we keep talking about this while we're here?
Yeah,
There's 2 ways to go. And one way is a lot easier. all of the vendors have state contracts.
Love a state contract.
And when the group is selecting furniture, you can see what the prices are. You don't have to go to bid and then figure out where you're at. It makes the process a lot smoother.
1000%.
Okay. If we can do that, then the second part of that is the IT. We need to get the town IT folks.
Yeah.
Because we don't, first of all, we don't have any of that in the, we have all the audio visual, but the computers, copiers,
Right.
we don't have any of that in the drawings.
Yeah.
We don't know
Copiers is
what
my
they're
own.
gonna take over and what they're gonna do. And you may not wanna buy that with the bond because some of that's 3-year equipment that,
That's right.
you know, yeah.
I
So we
wouldn't
have
wanna
to figure
fake
out
it.
how to do all that before, we have plenty of time, but we haven't really talked about that yet.
Yep, no, that's fair. I agree. Some of those are more operational expenses. Like you wouldn't add that to, I wouldn't want to pay debt
Yeah,
for, a copier lease. That seems silly.
right. What would be great is if we could get a group with the town IT folks, just so they know it's coming and then we have.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they get surprised and then they don't, I needed a router, I didn't know I had to order it, and that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
no, we can definitely do that. Yeah. 100%.
That
So-
sounds like a smaller group.
The IT group is a small group. It's
Yeah.
just a couple people they can talk to.
Couple
whoever.
people that talk a different language.
Do you happen to have, Joel, or you, Peter, any sort of description of this sort of work that I can co-opt and not write myself?
For furniture or for IT?
For what this group might be doing.
Yep.
And then we can pass that along to Council on Aging if they want to nominate, some number to be determined to work with this group. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I don't want to speak out of turn or write out of turn. So if you've done this before, I'd rather not recreate the wheel, but I think that'd be great. I think some people will really be excited to work with you or your team again,
We'll
so.
see.
Maybe not you, Joel. No, I'm just kidding.
Everyone's excited to work with Colin though.
From Maine. Great.
From Maine?
He's from Maine.
We had a, early on group that did interior finishes. It might be nice to have some of those folks stay because you really want to coordinate the interior finishes with the furniture. So.
That's a good idea. Okay. So yeah, I think I know a couple of people.
Mark, that question?
When we're talking IT, the infrastructure kinds of stuff, that's separate, right? We're talking more.
On the IT, everything's in, all the wire and all the cable, but we don't have the copier, we don't have the desktop kind of equipment.
Yeah, it's buying this.
Sound systems, right, but the
We-
wiring.
Sound systems are in.
Sound system and TVs we would have.
Anything that's hooked into the building is in.
Okay,
Anything that sits on your desk is not in.
okay, so how about things like routers? Access.
No, the router is part of, that's not in. There's a central rack, there's a MDF and an IDF room. And anything that goes on those racks needs to be bought.
What about wireless access? That would be part of the contract, it might be.
I think we have wireless access in IT.
They are in scope, Joel.
Thank you.
That's why we
There it
got
goes,
them.
God.
I was clear.
Jumping in like that, man.
Good.
Because again, those are built into the ceiling and wired back to the.
Right. Anything that's in the infrastructure, it should be in the contract. There'll probably be, as we mesh that and we go through with IT, we'll probably find some infrastructure we need to add, or we might find some modifications to that, that we'll have to stay in front of, but we still have plenty of time for that. Good. All right, back over to you, Peter. We're
Okay.
Still on schedule.
Yeah, so that's a snapshot of the OPM schedule. I'll give you the contractor's critical path schedule. It's here. Maybe a question for the committee. Contractors gives us a monthly schedule update. It's probably, April, what do you think? 25 pages deep.
Yes.
I can certainly give that extreme detail to everybody if they want it. Maybe I'll do that just as a sidebar, but I'll probably present the critical path schedule as a brief overview for this meeting, and I'll have the full schedule sent out separately if you want it.
That makes sense.
Okay, just so you don't get bogged down with 100 pages in your inbox with the stuff. So, we looked at this, it's following the baseline schedule that we've accepted. And J&J is doing okay. Right now, I'll use the word on schedule at this point. Now, some things maybe not 100%, some things are ahead, some things might be slightly behind, but in the grand scheme of things, they're on schedule as planned.
Can you, blow that up just a little bit, so, old guy like me can read it.
Whoops, 1 second.
I broke my glasses. I got using my computer, like I can't see you, I can't see that. It's a mess. That's nice.
Scroll down a little bit, Patrick. Yeah.
I have a question for the team. Maybe this is out of, out of line, like out of order. What is the distance between the time the building's effectively done and the punch list and then being complete and then when we're gonna move in? What does
Okay.
that look like?
I put that here and I'll zoom in a little bit, 1 second. So,
I want to know what month I'm turning this building on and how much it's gonna cost me. Because I'm carrying a full year in the budget, but I don't know that it'll be in it a full year, you know what I mean?
I would say currently, I'll use this.
Here it is.
Currently, just the substantial completion date for the project is August 11th, 2027.
That's the contract date.
It's a
Almost
contract
exactly.
substantial completion. If nothing changes, they could finish earlier, but contractually they're, unless there's edits, but right now, from the start date of March 30th of this year, plus 499 days, is August 11th of next year. At substantial completion, that's when essentially the keys get turned over and all the ownership of the building gets turned over to the owner, in this case, the town of Reading. So the owner's insurance would kick in, it's essentially August 11th, all things being on the map here. The utility cost gets turned over. So the ownership of the building and all its accessories get turned over to the owner August 11th next year. So with respect to when do you start paying the bill?
When I start paying it down, August.
August 11th, unless we agree to either A, there's a substantial delay and it gets pushed off, or the contractor finishes early and we agree to accept it early. But we'll know that not right today.
No,
It's-
understood,
It's a year,
understood.
it's a year away.
Okay,
And I would guess, so that's the date we're starting to move furniture in.
Well, no,
So-
I'm, again, this is my timelines. This is just me mapping this stuff out. So I don't want to say me, but I'm anticipating the owner move in furniture and equipment on row 78 and start July 19th. I'm just thinking,
A little bit ahead.
yeah, 3 weeks maybe ahead. There'll be some overlap. Again, this will be coordinated with the contractor to make sure the building can accept the furniture to be arriving and rooms are ready. But traditionally, contractors usually have a space, a lot of the space, 3 to 4 weeks ahead of substantial. And that's when we'll start to map out and the owner can start to move in concurrently with some of the finish activities of the contractor. Otherwise, if we wait and if we turned around and waited until the final completion date, again, 60 days after substantial contractually, that's October 8th. We don't need to wait until October 8th, then move the furniture in for a month. Now it's November 8th. We can work concurrently at the same time.
So assuming that overlap, what are you anticipating for an actual like occupancy of the building?
Well,
I was gonna say we start moving in a more conservative approach, no overlap. We start moving in on substantial completion, well, like 30 days out from that.
if I mapped out what I just said and I'm looking at anticipated soft opening, call that a phrase. September 1st, next year. Labor Day week, give or take. If, again, things happening concurrently overlap, things move in, giving opportunity for furniture and equipment to get set up punch list on that, technology setup, punch list on that, confirmation the technology works, everything's in line, security system. Give
It
it,
happens to be the date that most senior centers love to open on because it's right on a new fall calendar. And you're starting the calendar in the new building instead of having to move around in the middle of programming and all that, so
Right.
it works. And the fall is a really good time to open, because everybody's back from summer and quiet to get the building set up, so.
Well,
That's why we were trying for that.
we might shut down, I'm making this up, I haven't discussed this with staff, but we might shut down operations here so that staff can get set up over there
Exactly.
and understand how to run the building and maybe take a day off or something.
Sure.
Or get going.
It doesn't, it's only happened once, but the other advantage of what Peter's doing is that if the fire department wants to do a walkthrough with the furniture for egress and all that, they can do that. If when they walk through for, generally, there's no furniture and it, there may be an obstruction that they don't agree with.
that's right.
Right, fine.
The other thought just here is relocation, the last row is relocation of existing furniture, equipment and technology. Yet to be determined. I'm not sure exactly this moment, what is being transferred from existing buildings such as this to the new facility. That'll all come out in the planning of the FF&E and the technology as well.
Decide what's being kept, what will be surplus, what might go to other
Correct.
town buildings or.
Anyone else have any questions on schedule?
So those are the two schedules. I'll turn it over to now under project updates, gives an opportunity for some updates. I think you've heard a lot about some, but I'll let April give the committee an update on construction. And then B, the design team, BH&A can give us any activities that they want to share. And I'll stop for a minute. And April, I'll do this. I'll move down. I have some photos that you prepared, the photo report. 1 second.
So while Peter's doing that, I can give you a quick, like 3-week look ahead. So J&J is continuing on their drainage to the Caltech, and concrete work, the flat work is continuing. Next Wednesday should be the final pour, and wood framing started today. So everything is moving right along. Oh, good. Thanks, Peter. So these are just a couple of the photos. That first photo is the elevator shaft, just when they very first were starting it. The second photo is the very first piece of steel. It is hard to see, but the very first piece of steel where all those pink shirts are is.
Sorry if I jumped ahead. Tell me about.
No, that's okay. And then that's the elevator shaft done. And that's just a progress photo of the steel. They were fast. They were very fast. They were very good.
You can tell me next slide if you're ready.
Yep, next slide, please. Thank you. That is the walking path in the back. They started to connect to the pickleball stuff. And then grease trap, that went in on the 13th. And the plumbers have made connections to that already. And then next slide. And then that picture is the water main over at the ice rink. Ed has been absolutely phenomenal. He's been a wonderful neighbor, letting us. Yes.
Burbank, yes.
He's been wonderful. So, you know, we went in, I don't know, the night before at the end of the day and said, hey, we want to do this tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, okay, sure. I mean, he's been wonderful. We can't ask for anything better. He has allowed a storage trailer in the back. They stored a whole bunch of the manholes back there. He's been very helpful. Every time we have to do a detour, he makes sure, like, he'll stand out there and watch for the kids because, you know, there's trucks going around. He's been a phenomenal neighbor. So, yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, we kind of invaded him to do that and he was great with it. And then, the next slide is taking up the asphalt on the road right in front of Recal. Next slide, please, Peter. This is some of the drainage in the road that is going to go back to the Caltech. And then, they have the fire extinguisher in, which actually came from the connection of the water main over at the ice rink. So that one is actually already in. And then I think we have one more slide, Peter. And that one was just a picture of the final steel, and then that was concrete for yesterday. So that's right at the front of the building, right after we buried the time capsule.
Time capsule.
Yes.
You got to go, Rob.
Yeah, so that was a long day. That was a very long day for them. 200 and I think 56 yards of concrete.
Seems like a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So that's that. They're moving right along.
It looks like a building now.
It does.
It's really happening.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Sure. We'll talk about, well, I guess I'll talk about procurement of commissioning services. We have an RFP that we've assembled. That meeting might have seen a draft of it. Still working on it with the procurement office, Josh and Katie. So looking to get that out, maybe next week, but no less than 2 weeks away to publicly advertise.
If anyone on the committee has any comments on the documents that you sent out, do you have a deadline when we should get that information to you?
Yeah, well, if they want to get it out next week, which I think is going to be a little too aggressive because I want to work with procurement office on the model RFP they want to use. So let me say a week from today, next Wednesday. I'll put an email out on that to the committee. So they have.
That'll be more generous than I was.
Gotta give it till Sunday night. Now for the weekend, it's not gonna happen.
6B, I guess, turn it over to VH plus A if they want to add any comment.
That'd be for Colin.
Yeah, sure. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Awesome. I bought a brand new microphone, so it doesn't sound like I'm 10 feet underwater anymore. The progress this month has been good. We're moving along quickly. It's been very smooth and quiet, which is a good thing. It means everything is going well. No issues to report. I've processed nearly 200 submittals at this point. I think I'm up to 190 today. Some exciting stuff has been across my desk and my screen recently. I've seen curtain wall and storefront as well as windows. So it's really coming along very smoothly, very quickly, and everything's going well. I've been lucky enough the past couple times when I go on site for the OAC meetings to catch some of the more exciting work that's happening. The CMU erection was one. The steel erection was very cool, seeing those massive trusses get swung into place. And most recently this week, the concrete being poured was very exciting to see. And to start to be able to get a feel for the interior and the scale of the space, walking around inside the future rooms, it's really coming together. So if you do have a chance to get out there, it's a really good and exciting time to get inside the building now that you can.
Couple of quick questions on submittals. You
Yep.
mentioned windows, curtain wall coming in, other exterior envelope, the roof, is that all submitted and approved?
That stuff, I have not approved the curtain wall yet. I'm
Okay.
reviewing it. Windows have been approved. So the order of those was placed just this past week, or past couple days, actually, it was Monday. No roof yet, per se. The materials have been reviewed and approved.
Okay.
Some of the bigger stuff, I think I said this at the last meeting, roof trusses have been approved, the wood trusses. So a lot of the parts and pieces have already been reviewed and approved and are in fabrication.
And then, the electrical and mechanical, like switch gear,
Yep.
rooftop units.
Yep.
Those are all coming in.
There,
relatively-
yeah, some of those big items, those hot items that often have long lead, those have come in. Some have been reviewed and needed to be returned for revision and resubmission. But for the most part, they're all looking good. And we just closed out the last of the rooftop heating and cooling units. The VRF came through and the heat pumps, and those are both approved at this point.
Okay. Final question, MEP coordination? Is that mostly complete at this point?
It is, yeah. All the underground's already done, of course, since concrete's being poured. J&J's been really great about their upkeep of their building information model to the point that they're indicating conduits and, every last nut and bolt and detail you would see in the finished building. And that's really helped us keep ahead of any coordination issues and catch them far in advance so we have time to work through solutions.
Extra EBU on bread.
Excellent, thank you. Joel, you
There's
got
two
something
things
to
to
add?
look at if you go out to the site, but the trusses are unusual in that they have a curved bottom to them.
Yeah.
It looks great, but our renderings show white trusses. And I've never seen prime steel come charcoal gray, usually comes battleship gray. It really looks great. We're thinking that maybe we should leave the battleship gray finish. It makes it feel like an old school gym, like
Yeah.
old Springfield basketball was invented here gym.
That's what we're gonna tell people. We're gonna put backups in basketball and
Looks really nice.
that's
And
cool.
it looks thinner because it's black. It just has that better.
That's why I wear black. That's exactly why.
I gotta pick up that too.
To Joel's
Trust Jamie.
No, does this trust make you look? Okay, that's neat though.
yeah,
Can I,
to,
can I offer a clarification?
Yes,
Kitty cat.
Little pet peeve of mine, there is no such thing as Battleship Gray.
oh, we got a Navy guy.
Oh, I play, what is it?
How did
What
that
is it
name come
called?
about? Anybody know?
So ships are haze gray,
Okay,
the decks are deck gray, and the machinery is machinery gray, but there is no such thing as Battleship Gray.
all right, stand corrected.
Haze. Gray.
So is it haze gray?
Haze gray.
Haze gray, I even like that better.
I think that'd be more of deck gray, wouldn't it, Greg?
I haven't seen the color myself. Deck gray is darker.
You like the white?
I like that.
Tribute to the experts.
Save some money on the paint.
I have actually
Oh, you have to, yes, it would all be finished.
Yeah.
It's just it wouldn't be finished white, because I think the early gyms were built out of wrought iron, and the members are really thin, and it has a great look to it, and that gym's starting to look like that. Looks
Interesting,
different.
Yeah,
really.
it does look great. Colin, you were saying something?
Yes, I have actually changed the color in the building information model that we use internally, the architectural model. So you can actually see now what it would like in this haze gray. And it really is pretty sharp. It looks good.
Can
want
you
me to-
share a screen?
Want me to stop sharing? Do you want to share?
I am on my laptop. I'm not linked into my desktop right now, but I'm happy to send out an updated rendering later tonight.
That would be great.
Can we get a side by side so we can be reminded of the original?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do the matching.
White and haze.
Yeah, make sure you include that window.
It's in there. That design option was accepted on the architectural end as far as the modeling software.
particularly the longitudinal scheme that we're not very whereas the effect the that's what that might be.
Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna look at the renderings. Yeah, I'm no worry.
Maybe we have white so that we right over some.
But now,
I hear a
now
compromise.
that's a change order. That costs more. Thank you, Colin and Joel. Anything else from the designer side?
The windows came in with the windows that were spec. There was a lot of discussion with it. At the end of the day, we got the inches window, which is a very good window.
Oh, good.
Tried to do a substitution and we were able to.
Shoot that down.
Yep.
Thank you. I don't know if we have anything on the town side. Joe? No?
I'm impressed every time I go out with how organized and clean the site is, how safe it is. They don't step on this site without a vest and a hard hat. So shout out to Jimmy Rich and his crew and April, of course. Always very welcoming when we go over, and it was very nice to be able to participate in the time capsule. And you know, I wrote a letter to future I need to put that letter I wrote up on the in the list of what we did in there. John Coote dropped off the Market Basket flyer for the 4th of July, 250th.
That's amazing.
It is in pristine. We put it in acid-free, like the envelope, so it's preserved for another 100 years. Who knows? Be the 350th when they open it. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Speaking of time capsule, is that the video?
That is the video, yes.
Can I play it now?
Yeah, I'd love to have you play it.
Oh, April should have been up to you tell it, and I'll just play it.
Well, Jimmy actually took it, but Jimmy and I were standing there when the concrete was getting poured and we decided we'd take a video of the time capsule being buried in concrete.
Let's see, 1 second. Share my screen a different way. There it goes. Is it?
Yes. So you can see that green pipe with the two,
That was it?
that was it, yeah.
Oh.
Very quick.
Very quick.
Who's
There it
gonna
is.
find it?
So we're gonna put on the as-built where it is.
Remind, concrete is not full, it's base.
Castle.
Lord is not. And then second,
Boy, we're learning a lot tonight.
We are.
I'm learning a lot, like every day. Thank you, Josh.
Okay. Okay.
Moving on to
There we go.
Item 7.
Item 7, so a couple of little adjustments here. First one is a site security monitoring system. It's actually now rolled into change order number 2, which was an update as of probably 24 hours ago. So why don't I go to that right now? Here's the construction change order. So here's that quick log, just to share with people how we're tracking it. I didn't print out the whole screen, but excuse me. So we do have it, we're tracking as we talked earlier. We have a log, wanted to share that with people. But the change order itself, construction change order for tonight's review and approval. So we have 5 items or COPs, change order proposal. It's a COP acronym. So we've reviewed these with the group, the project team, which included Kevin Kabuzzi and Joe Huggins as well as part of the discussions at various times. Foundation changes, number 1, number 2, sprinkler coordination, number 3, utility enhancements, number 4 is the gym window. And then number 5 is the security cameras and monitoring is a requirement requested by the builder's risk policy. And I can scroll down, we have all the backup here. You probably have saw this in an email last night. That was an updated version.
Everyone should have got the original version.
Yeah, and we got the original version last Thursday.
Last
Correct,
week.
and then
No,
I
we're not.
This from the Tuesday
Right.
weekly meeting that we had.
So then we have excuse me, I'll go to the security camera thing here. So here's the backup to that. Vigil. This has been reviewed also with the procurement office. Katie and Josh, they're aware of this because they are aware of the security requirements, which is part of the builder's risk policy. So, any case, they had, I won't speak for them, but they had a much larger number that they received when they procured the security cameras for some reason. Ended up.
Oh, yeah, no, it was bonkers when we procured it, but we don't know if the scoping was incorrect or whatever, but it was, the same company came back like $100,000 less. So, yeah, no, it was outrageous. I called the insurance company and gave them what for. So this was the right move, just to go with this, because you don't know what the difference was. But there's also, it's interesting because in the insurance industry, certain companies have bought into insurance companies. They invested in insurance companies like Flock Camera Systems and so forth. So it's interesting to see how requirements are also changing in some places. So I think that may have been a factor.
So
The foundation tree.
there was, April, help me out with that one. I won't
That one was a bulletin, but I don't remember
I-
which bulletin.
scroll down here.
Of course, is
Oh,
that
right.
site conditions or?
Foundation.
Colin can
bulletin.
explain it.
I think there was,
It's right there. Revised bottom of footing for all spread footings and continuous footings.
Yeah, the question is why, what's the course of change? Site conditions or nothing?
Wait for Colin to jump in.
Yeah, I can talk about this one quick. This is an interesting one. It originally came back at nearly $50,000, and the reason was a footing in the structural drawings was erroneously tagged using a datum point that was off by 1 foot. So all the footings throughout the project were showing 1 foot higher than they were intended to be. All that said, the details were correct, the sections were correct, everything in the architectural drawings was correct. So they did not really have much ability to argue that it was unclear and that the extra costs for excavation would be a valid change. So we pushed back on that and got all of that cost removed from the change order. The cost that you are seeing is for the materials and labor related to 3 footings that were actually missed in the structural drawings, and that was caught during submittal review. So there was a miss, and that is the cost that we're seeing. We were able to push back and get the other $30 plus thousand removed from that change order.
Colin, exactly. You can see on the screen, as we're tracking, second to last column was the original submittal cost of $37,000. After further discussion, as Colin just mentioned, the cost came down to $16,000. So it went from 37 to 16. You can see the numbers.
I thought it was 47 for some reason.
Okay, maybe that's what I had. So, but this is what we're tracking, just to share with the committee what was originally submitted, what was discussed, and any adjustments that come out of that review process.
So this is for bringing footings, it's not for changing elevation. Changing elevation don't work.
Correct.
The tile shouldn't change. The change. Just for.
Yeah, we correct, John, we can do that, because it's came in this way as foundation changes, so that's what we just kind of tracked it, but yes.
Not provided from the footing, or those footings, it's added spread footing to them.
Fair enough,
That's what you're saying.
yes.
That clarifies. That's what I was seeing.
I would actually, prefer the description remains the same, so there couldn't be any confusion that the variation from the 37 to 16 is still on the table. I would prefer that the description stays the same as it is. It's no confusion. Everything that was part of that bulletin And everything that was part of that is included in the 16,000. There's no coming back. So,
One big clear is my logic.
I don't know if anyone has any other questions. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve J&J's change order number 2.
Motion to approve change order number 2 as presented.
Second. Anyone have any questions or discussion? Hearing none, for the vote, John Coop,
Yes.
Mark Doxer,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro,
Yes.
Ron Powell,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you, committee members. I'll scroll down to the next, which on the agenda is an amendment number 4 for the design team, BH+A, for 2 design changes that took place previously as approved, previous meetings from the Flex Room 117 and the Makerspace 123. Here's the designer's amendment. Here's the cover sheet for it, which shows that. And then here's the backup, which explains what took place from the design team submittal, proposal, excuse me. $8,100 for the flex room changes as discussed in previous meetings. And then there's the backup for the sub-consultants. Then there's, excuse me, there's another one here for the Makerspace, $5,930.
And that went out about a week ago, so everyone had a chance to look at it.
Right.
So anyone has any questions before we vote on that?
That'll be right here. I'll cloud it in, since the value.
Ron?
I just have a question on the flex room. They were,
Sure.
I just noticed that there were items that were listed on the March 23rd analysis. And then there were most of those were listed on this one as well, but there were some additional ones, and I just want to make sure that the $39,200 that was part of the original analysis encompasses all of the enabling work.
39. $3,900?
39,200 is the enabling.
Was that the rough order of magnitude cost that we presented back in June, May, June?
March.
But that's March 23rd, it was an analysis done, what it would cost to add a flexible partition to the flex room. And there was like a number of items that were listed in addition to the partition itself. And I just want to make sure that those costs, like those extra costs came out to $39,200. I just want to make sure that there's no additional costs beyond that.
That was an estimate.
Yeah,
I think we had our
Well,
team do that.
I think, Ron, you're referring to the OPM put together a construction cost estimate. I'm going off memory, if it was in March, 39,000. That might have been a cost that we looked at as the OPM for the construction cost that potentially.
And they produced an estimate.
You guys didn't know? I don't recall the architect did, but Colin,
We might have put an order of magnitude together very early in that was.
Just that this document says that this analysis says this supersedes the one that we did on March 23rd.
This does.
So I just noticed that the one on March 23rd had some items. And they are listed in this one as well, but there's additional ones. I didn't see explicit line items for the additional relocated door, the exit sign relocation, data outlets, and the life safety book, the original March 23rd one. So I just wanted to know if those are additional costs or a part of the March 23rd work.
Yeah,
I think so.
So the J&J change order is inclusive
well, we don't have it, well.
when it comes, yeah.
We have a pending change order,
We have a
but we're not
pending.
voting on the change order, we're just voting on,
Yeah.
Looking at the design, we go back to the design.
So this, yeah, this proposal here is for the designer's services to prepare the documents so the contractor can price up and
Right.
build.
This includes additional items that weren't on March 23rd.
Designer items. So the designer is going to add a door or exit light, or is that what? I don't
That
have them.
that's correct. I'm looking down this list, all of this stuff, except for the actual operable door to subdivide the space, was part of that bulletin. We've separated the room for kind of future proofing for two separate zones. We did rework the light fixtures, the emergency lights, the exit rooms. AV infrastructure has been added. Even some fire protection was shifted to allow us to put a door in the future. Horn strobes, alarms, all of it, all the infrastructure in that room has been treated as if in the future will be two separate spaces. And all of that was done and revised in the bulletin that went out for this change.
just to be clear, we're voting on an amendment to BHSA's contract to perform this work, which they've in good faith already gone ahead and done, thank you. And then most likely in J&J's change order 3 will be the actual costs from the contractor to perform that work.
Correct.
Okay.
This is strictly designer services, not construction costs. So the two revisions or the one amendment has two designer services. The flex room 117 for $8,100, the maker space room 230, designer services $5,930, sum total $14,030 as amendment 4 under the designer's contract. Amendment 4.
Unless there's any other questions, who wants to make a motion to approve?
Can you just scroll a little bit higher so I know the wording to use?
Sure.
Great. Motion to approve designer amendment number 4 as written. As presented, excuse me.
Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, go to the vote. John Coop.
Yes.
Mark Doxa.
Yes.
Or my homegrown tomato, I'm not saving any more for you. Just gonna eat it.
Anyone wants to mute Karen Herrick, that would be helpful. Kirk McCormick.
I just
Yes.
asked you one more call.
What?
Kirk.
Yes.
Thank you. Mike Mazzaro,
Yes.
Ron Powell,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes. Back to the agenda.
Item 8, no action, just informational meetings that took place.
Yeah, they take place every Tuesday. The town has been wonderful. Joe and Kevin have been exceptional.
I know this about them. They're
awesome.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
Keep everything moving.
Yes, they do. I've called them and they are there within the hour, if not sooner. They're very good.
Item 9, there's two items of discussion, whether it's tonight or another meeting. Oh, actually, it's going to be September, excuse me, the organization of the reorganization. And then a building topping off ceremony. I guess there was a thought about doing something.
I feel like it was your idea, Peter.
I think it was your idea, but I
love
had
this.
talked a little bit with Jane about this. And I think the thought, correct me if I'm wrong, Jane, the thought was to do the topping off ceremony after the wood framing. So they just started today. So I won't have a great idea of how fast they're moving for probably 1 or 2 weeks. And then after that, I can kind of gauge how fast they're moving and when we're actually going to be done.
are we topping off with wood versus
Yeah, wood truss is probably,
the wood truss? All right.
I feel like.
yeah, that's probably
I'll come quicker than you think.
the last piece of framing, for top off the building would be a wood framing member as opposed to a steel framing member.
But we still can sign it, right? Like, these are the important things.
We'll paint it white.
Peter's really good with all of that stuff.
That'll be a new one, but I'm looking forward to it.
I think,
We just need some time to make sure that people
think-
can be invited and,
Right.
you know.
Are they gonna set the trusses with a crane? So if they are, that's gonna be it's not gonna be on site very long. It's gonna be like a week setting trusses with a crane.
Would you like a hot dog, Mr. Coot? We can, I mean.
Well, all I have to do is tell Jimmy and he will make them.
Yeah, hot dogs, I might actually show up.
I'll get a hot dog for- It has become a bit of a tradition.
You
it's
just
true.
did this a month ago in Melrose.
No, I
My
have-
job.
Oh, you did? I had a hot dog when I went over there the other day
Oh, yes.
for the time capsule.
so just on the schedule,
Oh,
it just
cancer.
according to the contractor's schedule, roof truss and sheathing, wood framing, looking at for November. That's what it says today. Yeah,
Okay.
update to follow.
I'd say if they just started framing, you know,
All they
sometime
did was
next
just-
week, maybe it's a topic for next Tuesday's meeting to just see if they can give you an idea for what
Yes.
their schedule is and how important it is to us that it's a crane lifting a truss, you know, versus like a lull. Because they'll probably be setting those trusses, I assume with a crane, but it'll be like a narrow window. And they don't wanna keep that crane there any longer.
No,
than they have.
those are expensive. Yeah.
It's, you know, it'll be like, we're gonna be here 4 days with the crane, you're gonna, you know, that's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
window.
yeah, no, there's the cranes coming in, all right.
And you'll
Pick your
blink and
moment.
it'll be gone, but I don't know
Yeah.
how quick that is in the process. Because there's a lot of wood framing needs to get done before this happens. Okay. Moving on to project invoices.
Project invoices I can present. Number one, the Daily Times Chronicle given to us from the procurement office. That was from the elevator bid a couple of months ago. It's kind of a catch up. Town council's invoice for some services the town council approved or provided, excuse me. UTS invoices 3 and 4. The OPM's office has looked at those and makes a recommendation. Items 1 and 2, we acknowledge those two services as given to us from town's procurement office, so we recommend for consideration. Item 1, 2, 3, and 4. Item 5, we have a number that was submitted. I will share the screen. There's been where'd it go? Excuse me one second. So the contractor submitted an invoice requisition, excuse me, and here it is. And we had some review comments. He was out of the office today for a funeral. So we couldn't get him an updated number, but this was the number, as you can see on the screen, the 1,292,000. We had some comments down here, some recommendations that we didn't think they were at 100%, so we recommended a 50% reduction, you know, and then go down to 40% here as well. And then there was some other changes we suggested here. Oh, this one here. So anyways, what I'm getting at hung up above. Okay, thank you. So because we don't have the final calculated number, we haven't finalized the number. It's not going to exceed what they submitted, which is the 1,292,150.79. We feel is going to be slightly less based on our recommendations that some of that work was not in place. They were anticipating, for example, the concrete would have been cast poured. Place, excuse me, place.
We're in a haze.
Good.
Wow.
Contractors anticipated that would have been completed, but it wasn't by the end of the month. So it was done today. So we were saying it's not done, it's
Well,
not
the
done.
first one, yeah. we
Yeah,
have
so-
another one next week.
What I'm suggesting tonight for the committee is make a recommendation for this amount not to exceed the $1,292,150.79. The next three items, 6, 7, and 8 are the BH+A, the normal contract administration services for the month of June, 33,000. The two Progress payments against the amendment number 4 that we just discussed earlier for the flex room, 7,900, and the makerspace, 2,802.50. We've looked at that as the OPM, make a recommendation for the committee's consideration. Item 9, I will recuse myself from saying it. But that's our recommendation for the committee's consideration.
Okay. So that's, I think, voting on J&J's requisition not to exceed that amount is fine. As we go through these, I think we can combine like the 2 UTS invoices and the 3 BH plus A's for time. If anyone wants to take a crack.
Sure.
Someone.
Haven't done it a bit, but move to approve invoice number 16137 for the Daily Times Chronicle in the amount of $213.85.
Any discussion? Go to vote. John Coop.
Yeah.
Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Greg Stepler.
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes. Next.
Motion to approve invoice number 3290 from Harrington Heat LLP in the amount of $393.
Any discussion? Go to the vote. John Coop. Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Greg Stepler.
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
Move to approve 2 invoices from the firm UTS, invoice number 123581 in the amount of $6,851, and invoice number 123997 in the amount of $2,675, for a total of $9,526.
Second.
Any discussion? Go to the vote. John Coop.
Yeah.
Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Greg Stepler.
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
All right. Motion to approve requisition number 4 to J&J Contractors for an amount not to exceed $1,292,150.79.
Any discussion?
Just right. Comment. Technically, concrete is not affected until the test comes. Technically, that's.
Fair
It
enough.
doesn't affect this, it's not to exceed. And it's not only accepted until the test.
How many days do you like? 7, 14?
It's okay.
Very good. Nice.
It's not any.
I do have a question. How do we, where it's not to exceed, how does the final number get determined and authorized?
The final number will be determined in probably the next tomorrow or Friday after the gentleman from J&J is back in the office and we get a chance, April and myself and BH plus A's office, sit down, discuss the suggested edits to the invoice, which I'm sure we'll come to an agreement. And then we calculate that. He'll submit a final invoice, notarized and signed, and we'll send it on to the town. But it'll be that or less. It won't be more.
And the architect will, but as they do with every one of those requisitions, they certify that as part of their control construction obligation.
So as you said, not to exceed is correct.
Good. Any other comments, questions? Go to vote. John Coop.
Yes.
Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Greg Stepler.
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
All right. Motion to approve 3 invoices from BH plus A, invoice number 20893 in the amount of $33,000. Invoice 28094, the amount of $7,900, and invoice 20895 in the amount of $2,802.50 for a total of $40,702.50.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Seeing none. John Coop.
Yes.
Mark Doxer.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick.
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro.
Yes.
Ron Powell.
Yes.
Greg Stepler.
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes. Motion passes.
Motion to approve invoice number PJIN 0048467 to Turner and Townsend Heery, the amount of $31,780.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? John Coop,
Yes.
Mark Doxa,
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro,
Yes.
Ron Powell,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes, motion passes. Back to the agenda. Got all those? We didn't have any, no, item 11, no, other business not reasonably anticipated. Item 12, we got a list of the upcoming, meeting dates, September 2. Give some thought to potential reorganization and new positions. That's it. I'll accept the motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
John Coop,
Yes.
Mark Doxa.
Yes.
Kirk McCormick,
Yes.
Mike Mazzaro,
Yes.
Ron Powell,
Yes.
Greg Stepler,
Yes.
Pat Tompkins, yes, motion passes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Nice job.
At the September meeting.